Welcome to today's webinar, Revolutionizing Business Operations in Malaysia, Streamlining e-Invoicing with AI-driven OCR technology. I am Radhika, your host for this exciting session. In this webinar, we'll explore how AI-driven e-invoicing helps Malaysian businesses save time, reduce cost, and stay fully compliant. Here's what you need to know before we begin. This session will last 45 minutes, followed by 15 minutes of Q&A. Use Q&A box for any questions and the chats for your thoughts. Stay until the end for a special surprise for the attendees. Let me introduce our speakers. We have Aryan, the product specialist, who will explain how e-invoicing can simplify invoicing tasks and help businesses save time and reduce cost. We have Hayang, the product manager, who will demonstrate the Assist Biz powerful e-invoicing feature, and TY, director of Assist, who will share the strategic insight on why e-invoicing is crucial for Malaysian businesses. First, let's welcome Aryan to walk us through the practical benefits of AI-driven e-invoicing. Over to you, Aryan. You're on mute, Yen.
Sorry. Okay. Can you now hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So again, thanks Radhika for the nice introduction, and good afternoon everyone, and welcome to our webinar. So again, my name is Yan and I'm a project consultant at Assist, but let me give you just a quick background of my role. So I work closely with businesses across various industries to implement solutions that drive efficiency, reduce operational bottlenecks, and ensure compliance with evolving regulations like the Malaysia's upcoming e-invoicing mandate. And I've had the privilege of guiding companies through digital transformations, and it's truly rewarding to see how leveraging the right technology can solve a real-world challenges. And today, I am very excited to guide you through how AI-driven OCR technology can revolutionize the way you manage invoicing and compliance while improving your overall business operations. And I'm also thrilled to be hosting or to be your guest speaker for today's webinar and sharing you valuable insights. And whether you're an SME, business owners, a bookkeeper, or someone interested in optimizing operations, this session has something for everyone. And I see a lot of different industries in the chat box. So I'm very happy that we are composed of different industries in this webinar's session. So with that, oops. Okay, so let's start by looking at the bigger picture. So the Malaysia's digital transformation. The Malaysian government has been actively promoting digitalization through initiatives like the My Digital, right? And we all know that this is a national plan to accelerate digital adoption across all sectors. And one of the key focus area is to actually modernizing financial processes, including invoicing and taxation. And traditionally, businesses in Malaysia have relied on manual invoices and PDF, which can be inefficient sometimes, right? And prone to errors and even subject to fraud. And now to address these challenges, the government is now making a nationwide push for e-invoicing, ensuring that, all businesses adapt to structured digital invoices that improve efficiency, accuracy, and transparency. Now, let's talk about e-invoicing and what it means for businesses like yours. So we all know that e-invoicing is, of course, the process of exchanging the invoices in a structured electronic format between the buyers and the sellers. But this means that invoices are no longer just the paper documents or the PDF that we usually send via emails, but instead they are now digital records that are processed and exchanged seamlessly through a compatible system. And why is this important? So let me just give you one quick example. So let's say let's use the scenario that you are a bookkeeper, right? And you're managing your invoices and for several SMEs, and with e-invoicing, the data from invoices is automatically captured, eliminating the need for manual entry, and this reduces also the errors and save you countless hours time you can spend focusing on growing your business or supporting your clients. But it's not just about the convenience. I mean, e-invoicing aligns with the Revenue Board's or the LHDN's requirement for tax reporting. So this one, it ensures that all invoices are compliant, traceable, and stored securely. And this means no more last minute stress during the tax season. And I think everyone can relate that tax season is really a headache for everyone, especially for our bookkeepers and accountants. Now, the government is rolling out the e-invoicing into 3 phases, but I will not dwell into like the details of the roadmap because I think a lot of us have seen this, especially on the timeline when it will be implemented. But just a quick run through that this is not just a new implementation that the Malaysian government is being implemented, but it started way back 2 years ago, wherein they launched this pilot testing where LHDN began the testing e-invoicing with the selected taxpayers to refine the My Invoice platform. And come last year, 2024, so they already started obliging the companies with annual revenue exceeding 100 million Malaysian ringgit to comply with the e-invoicing. And now, 2025, this come April, they are now actually rolling out the implementation for some businesses, especially with the annual revenue between 50 to 100 million Malaysian ringgit to now comply with the e-invoicing. And come July 1 this year, this will now be fully implemented for all businesses. And that includes also SMEs, freelancers, or even micro enterprises. And part of the expansion is that by next year, they will be also extending the e-invoicing requirements to B2C, focusing on retail, hospitality, and other consuming facing industries. And also part of the long-term goals is that integration with other regional e-invoicing platforms to facilitate the cross-border trade. Now, again, if you do have questions, guys, feel free to chat them in the chat box. So if you have like any clarification with any of the slides that I am presenting, feel free to chat them in the chat box so that we can address them later on during the Q&A portion. Okay, so now let's talk about the regulatory side of things and how the Malaysian government is implementing the e-invoicing and what businesses needs to do to comply. But let me just illustrate or show to you the differences between the traditional invoicing and the e-invoicing using the digital network like the PEPL network and what's in it for us to implement this one. But let me break this down into detail. So the traditional invoicing, so of course you have your supplier creates your invoice, you convert it into PDF, and then you attach it to email, and then the buyer receives the email. Then you have to rekey the data, right? And then you receive your invoice via the software. So both supplier and the buyer will receive that for payment approval, for payment processing. But the challenge with the traditional invoicing, of course, you have to deal with the manual steps. So each steps requires manual intervention, which increases time and effort, right? And it also exposes you to a high risk of errors because manual rekeying of the data can lead to input errors, right? And we don't want that. And of course, third is inefficiency. I think sending and receiving invoices via email also adds latency to the overall process. And lastly, I think because everything is being done manual, it's lack of automation. But while in e-invoicing, as we can see on the illustration, it simplifies the process on how we do things, right? But it's not just simplifying it, but again, it's being compliant with the tax reporting being mandated by the Malaysian government. And with the e-invoicing workflow, so all you have to do is supplier creates the e-invoice sent via PEPL network, and then the buyer or the buyer receives your e-invoice. But I think many of you will have these questions of how PEPL enhances the e-invoicing and why is it in there in the workflow. But before we go deep into that, let's define what PEPL is. So PEPL is the international e-delivery network that enables the secure and seamless exchange of business documents. So this means that both buyer and sellers will have, or businesses will allow to send and receive e-invoices directly from their software. there. It also ensures that all invoices or e-invoices adhere to the universal format that is compatible across the various software platforms. And it also allowed businesses across different countries and regions to exchange invoices effortlessly. And on the left side, I think you also wondering what's the LHDN role in e-invoicing. So they are the one leading the or in charge when it comes to the e-invoicing implementation. So their goal is to really enhance tax compliance, reduce fraud, and even create a seamless standardized invoicing system for businesses. And the My Invoice portal here is the complementary e-invoicing solution that provided by the LHDN to facilitate the implementation of electronic e-invoicing for all taxpayers. So, and this can be also accessible via computer, laptops, or any mobile device that enables the users to manage the e-invoices efficiently from anywhere and at any time. So I hope you guys are still with me. So, but if you have questions, so feel free. But I think a lot of you already have e-invoicing system, right? So feel free also to share with you what e-invoicing solutions you might have in your organization, or you can also chat that or share that in the chat box so that everyone would know what other, e-invoicing solutions that you're using, and so that we can also check on them during the Q&A session. Now, let me go through why e-invoicing matters for Malaysian businesses. So you might be wondering what's in it for me, right? And so, well, here are some clear benefits that I'd like to highlight, but there are four areas that I think is very, one of the benefits that we can gain out of this e-invoicing implementation. One, it reduces your cost. So no more printing, postage, or physical filing. It also improves the cash flow with faster payment cycles. And I think for most of us bookkeepers, it simplifies the reconciliation and reporting, and it enhances the accuracy so you can avoid costly errors. So, but at the end of the day, e-invoicing is not just, a legal requirement, but it's a strategic advantage. So businesses that adopt e-invoicing early will enjoy the benefit while positioning your organization and business as a forward-thinking players and when it comes to the Malaysia's digital economy. And I think while e-invoicing offers many benefits for businesses, it's also implementations comes with a challenge, especially for businesses transitioning from a traditional systems. And let me just share with you some of the challenges that we have identified. And I think addressing these challenges is the key to ensuring a smooth rollout. So one is that, of course, lack of awareness and understanding. As a lot of businesses, particularly SMEs, right, may not fully understand the e-invoicing requirements set by LHDN. Second, technical readiness. Third, I think resistance to change, where I think a lot of us can really, relate, because some of the businesses that have relied on manual invoicing or legacy system may resist transitioning to digital systems because of course, number one, fear of disruption to existing workflows. And we don't want that, because that also interrupt the operations, right? And reluctance to invest time and resources. I think that's also one key factors. The fourth one is meeting the implementation timeline. Now we all know that the timeline is that come July 1, that would be the full implementation of this. And we have like, a short number of months from now in order for us to comply. And I think that's also one of the consideration of the businesses why they cannot really comply to meet the implementation timeline. The fifth one would be, of course, change management. Employees may lack the technical skills or knowledge to generate and validate the e-invoices. And I think the most important one is the data privacy or the data security and privacy concern, wherein we know for a fact that sharing invoice data digitally raises concerns about data breaches and hacking, right? So, and I think a lot of us still not um, doesn't not really confident that when we share our data over internet or no, right? So how secure the data is that is being transmitted. So I think that's really one of the big concern. Now, before I go deep into the next slide where how we can help businesses in order to implement the e-invoicing, let me just share with you that, of course, one important thing is that non-compliance with e-invoicing mandate can also lead to significant penalties. Um, And then failing to issue an e-invoice when required can also be can also results to fine, which actually and not a cheap one. So for fine, it's ranging from 200 to 20,000 Malaysian ringgit per instance for a non-compliance, and imprisonment can also be one consideration, which is up to 6 months imprisonment, or can be both depending on the severity or circumstances of the violation. And of course, I think a lot of us don't want to pick penalties, right? So with that, I think the transition to e-invoicing is not just, again, regulatory requirement, and but it's a significant step towards streamlining your business operations and embracing digital transformation. And we truly understand that many businesses, especially SMEs, are worried about, number one, the complexity of meeting the LHDN's technical requirement. Second, the cost and effort of upgrading existing system. And I think the third one would be, of course, you have to train your employees because this is a new process. You have to adapt to a new process. So you have to train again your people. And lastly, ensuring compliance while keeping things efficient and manageable. I think that's also one of the important that businesses may understand. And by partnering with the right service provider, for business, your business can confidently transition to e-invoicing, avoid penalties, and reap the operational benefits of digital invoicing. I think that's one of the important thing that you have to keep in mind. Selecting the right partner of helping you in terms of the e-invoicing implementation. And let me share with you some criteria on how to choose the right partner. I think number one, and I think this is the most common criteria that most of the businesses will consider, is that a partner who are certified by LHDN or officially recognized by my invoice provider. Second, you have to ensure that your partner have the enough experience working with businesses of your size and industries, because of course we have different processes depending on the industries, right? So you have to ensure that your partner have that experience working with those kind of industries. Third is you have to prioritize those who offer integrated software solutions, which is compatible also with Peppol or similar networks. And I think the most important one is ask about how's the ongoing support, because they cannot be just your provider, but it should be your partner who can be with you from the moment you decide to implement this until the end, until such time that you are already using it, without any hassle or without any change with your organization. And I think that's very important when you look for a partner, right? And with that, before I go into my next slide, so again, if you do have questions, feel free to type them in the chat box, and we will answer them during the question and answer. And if you have any clarification also, anything that you want to understand when it comes to e-invoicing implementation, so feel free also to drop them in the chat box or the Q&A chat that you can see in your screen or your app. Okay, so with that, so let's talk about why Assist is a true game changer for businesses, right? So let me walk you through some key features that we have. So Assist and why it's a game changer for businesses. So now imagine this: no more manual entry but with Assist, we use the cutting edge AI driven OCR technology to extract the data from your invoices, whether they are PDF or scanned images or even paper copies. So meaning you don't need to spend hours manually inputting the data or worry about typos and errors and all. So it's accurate, it's fast, and it's like having a super efficient assistant working for you 24/7. Next thing is that I think we've all been here, like, accidentally processing the same invoice twice, right? And I think a lot of us have felt guilty about this. And I think this is a scenario where we cannot really truly avoid, right? So leading to confusion or even overpayments when, you process invoice twice, and we don't want that. But with Assist, it eliminates that problem. Our system automatically detects duplicate invoices so you can avoid costly mistakes. And finally, of course, this one is a big deal where Assist is a fully integrated with Malaysian's requirements, ensuring that all of your invoice comply with the LHDN mandatory e-invoicing regulations. But what does all of these means for you? So Assist doesn't just streamline your business or your invoicing process, but it boosts also your efficiency. It also eliminates errors and keeps you compliant with the tax regulation. So I think this is, of course, one of the perfect tool for businesses that want focus to growth and leave the tedious, time-consuming task behind, right? And with that, here are some additional features. And because change can be overwhelming sometimes, right? Especially businesses managing day-to-day operations. But with Assist, it doesn't change your existing system. You don't have to overhaul your processes, retrain your team, or even invest in expensive new software. So all you have to do is sign up and you're good to go. So I think you remember in the previous slide that I have presented, there's a lot of consideration challenges that you might facing it. But with Assist, we take care of all your worries. So we took all the requirements so that it just would be an easy step for you to set up. And with that, whatever system you're currently using, whether it's spreadsheet, accounting software, or even manual process, we can actually adapt to it. And there's no disruption to your workflow, no complicated setup, and no learning curve. So just imagine just three easy steps. You can actually you can actually become ready to the e-invoicing implementation. So the moment you sign up, Assist makes sure that all of your invoices are fully compliant with Malaysia's LHDN and LHDN's requirement. No need for you to figure out those technicalities of e-invoicing or stress over regulation. So again, we take care of that for you already. So with that, I'm happy to share that since you've seen what AssistBiz can do, and why not experience it for yourself, right? So the best part is you can get started completely risk-free with our free trial. So as you can see in your screen, there's a QR code that you can freely scan so that you can start signing up, and then we will help you also in terms of the setup. But later on during our live demo, I think that's the most exciting part, where we can show you the actual look and feel on how easy it is to use our platform. So this is also your chance to see how AssistBiz can transform your invoicing process without any upfront cost or obligation. I think that's the most ideal one, right? No upfront cost or obligation, just sign up and you'll have the full access to the platform to try all the features that I have shown earlier. So yeah, feel free to scan it, and we will also post this in the chat box so that everyone can have the chance to scan this QR code. Now, okay, so it's time for one of the most exciting parts of today's webinar. And I think this is most of you are looking forward, which is the live demo. So we know that seeing things in action makes all the difference. And this session will give you a hands-on look of how easy to set up and generate and submit your e-invoicing with Assist. So to walk us through on this demo, let me call in our product manager at Assist, which is Hayong. She's the perfect person to walk us through to this step-by-step process. So without further ado, I'll be passing the presentation to you, Hayo. And with that, thank you. And my name is Yan again. And thank you for coming, and happy to be your guest speaker this afternoon. So passing the floor to you, Hayong, for the live demo. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Yan. Okay. Okay, so hi everyone, my name is Hayang and I am the product manager of Assist. So today I will walk you through a live demo of Assist, showcasing how to use the e-invoice feature effectively. So this is our Assist portal, as you can see. So once you sign up, you will be able to connect with e-invoice feature, and you will have to do some registration for it before you start with. So you can go to under connections, there will be a e-invoice tab. So once you click on it, you will be able to select a country for. So I will go with Malaysia for today since our focus is more on Malaysia. So you can just click on Malaysia and you can click key in the company name, country, as well as address, postal code, uh, city, and your name and your email address, your contact phone number. And the TIN and EIF of your company information is a must to register as e-invoicing in Malaysia so that you can send the e-invoices to Malaysia Tax Authority. So you have to key in all these TIN and EIF number. So I will just key in all these random number just for your reference, but you have to make sure that all the information is correctly input as your company information. Otherwise, the validation will be failed. So once you key in all your company details, you can click to agree with our terms and condition and click on submit button. So once it's submitted, we might need some time to do the validation between the portal of the Malaysia. So please give us some of the business days, 1 to 2 days. So once it's completed, we will send a confirmation email to your email that the registration is completed. So once the validation is completed by the Malaysia government, we actually need you to do one additional step from the My Invoice portal, which is the Malaysia government portal, for you to add us as an intermediary. So let me show you this part on how to do it. Okay, so I believe if you are a registered company in Malaysia, you will be able to access to this My Invoice portal by the Malaysia government. So you can go to this View Taxpayer Profile to add as an intermediary to start with e-invoicing with Assist. So once this adding intermediary from the government side is done, then you are completely ready to use our Assist system for the e-invoicing. So if you need more guidance on this, please reach out to our team. So our team will be able to guide you on this in details. So if you need any support, please let us know or leave us your email so that we can reach out to you to have our account manager to reach out to you to guide you on this. Okay, so once the registration is completed, you will be able to see that this e-invoice feature is enabled from our Assist portal. So you can see that we have different folders called income and expenses. So income, under income, e-invoice, also there will be a bills that you will have to pay to your suppliers. So we have the e-invoice feature enabled for these accounts. So once the feature is enabled, you can simply just upload your document here by clicking this add document button, and then you can upload your invoice from here. Also, you can also copy the receiving email that you can copy from here. Then you can actually give this email to your supplier to directly send their invoices to our Assist system. So once they send their invoices, so you will be able to see all the listed invoices here. So I will test the income invoice first, which means the account receivable. So our system will be able to classify as account receivable automatically if the supplier name exactly matches your company name. So as you can see from the invoice, the supplier name, which is Softlink, is matches exactly as the company name here. So our system can automatically classify it as account receivable. So if you like to send this account receivable invoice to the government as an e-invoice, you can simply click on can be sent as e-invoice button. So once this is clicked, there are some of the required information that Malaysia government requires, which are the customer information of PRN and TIN, as well as the category code. So our AI actually can predict this category code for you so that you do not have to always come in to click one of the categories one by one. So you can just make sure all the informations are correct. And we also have a system AI that can also key in the customer details automatically if you have ever sent this invoice to this customer before. So if there's like same invoices that you would like to send to this specific customer, then our AI will be able to key in all the details for you so that you don't have to key in all these BRN, TIN, information every single time when you want to submit as an e-invoice. So just to make sure all these information are correct, including the text type as well as the due date, and you're ready to send as an e-invoice, so you can just simply click on submit button. Okay, so once this is submitted, you will be able to see e-invoice history from the e-invoice history tab. So it will take around like 1 to 2 minutes, less than 1 minute for us to go through to the Malaysia government portal. So once this is successfully went through, you will be able to see, not only you will be able to see the status from this invoice folder under e-invoice status, but you can also see all these details from this e-invoice folder. So as you can see, there are a list of the invoices that I have already submitted to the Malaysia government. So you can successfully see the status as well as the QR code for you to download with once it is successfully submitted. For the expenses, which are bills to pay, once your supplier sends e-invoice to your e-invoicing information, then all the bills will be listed here, as you can see here. So we also do have some kind of duplication check. So let's say if you receive like a PDF invoice and e-invoice together, we will have this remark say that this is duplicated with between e-invoices and also PDF invoice. So this is how you can actually really simply review and send your e-invoices both for the account payable and receivable. So for the e-invoice I just sent, you will be able to see that the status has been successfully sent. Okay, so this is actually all of my live demo. As you can see, our system actually makes it incredibly simple for you to start using the e-invoice feature. So you can also use your own templates such as like PDF, Excel format, whatever format that you're currently using. You do not have to modify any type of invoice that you're currently using. So you can actually continue using your existing invoice formats while ensuring to compliance with Malaysia government regulations. So thank you for your time and attention. Now I will hand it back to Radhika for the Q&A session.
Thank you. Thank you, Hayang, for this fantastic showcase of our platform's capability. Finally, let's invite Teng Yo Lim, Director of Assist, to share his strategic perspective. TY, over to you. Okay. Until TY arrives, we have some questions. So let me see. So we have one question from Elvin V. How can e-invoicing reduce paperwork when we still need to keep hard copies and submit to our auditors? So can Arian answer this question?
Sorry, can you repeat the question again, Radhika?
How can e-invoicing reduce paperwork when we still need to keep hard copies and submit to our auditors?
Okay, I think that practice is still depend on how you want, I mean, based on the process of your organization, because there are a lot of businesses, and we truly understand that many organizations still requires papers, right? But with e-invoicing, since it's now being formatted as electronic version of the PDF files that we usually or we traditionally process, so that way you can actually get rid of having your invoices printed on paper. But again, there's still some organization that might not be ready to adopt the e-invoicing and may still require the hard copies. So that means if that's the scenario, then you still have to comply to that so that you can get your payments done. But imagine if we are already fully implemented with the e-invoicing, um I think, yeah, we can eliminate already the use of paper because everything would be done electronically, right? So I hope I answered the question.
Thank you. We have another question. Does Assist provide middleware for QuickBook?
Can I clarify the question? So if when you say provide middleware for QuickBook, is it something because you want to integrate with QuickBooks? Is that the question is? Though to answer that, in terms of the middle, because Assist and QuickBooks are already integrated. So if you happen to use QuickBooks as your accounting system, then you want to use Assist to be your e-invoicing, then you could actually integrate it as easy. So based on what Hayong showed earlier, like how to set up the e-invoicing, in just easy steps, you can also integrate or connect your QuickBooks or even Zero in Assist easily.
Okay. There's one question for Hayang. How long does it take to fully implement Assist e-invoice?
It will be really depends on the validation process, but we believe it will be fully implemented in 1 to 2 business days.
Okay, great. We have one more question for Yen. How does Assist ensure data security, especially for sensitive financial information?
Oh, I think this one is a good question. So I think I've mentioned already that that's one of the main challenge, right? Considering the data security, but we take data security very seriously, and with Assist, e-invoice uses advanced encryption and the encryption to protect your data and ensures its authenticity. And additionally, all of your documents are securely stored in the cloud with access control, so you can work confidently knowing your informations are safe. And of course, our cloud storage infrastructure is designed with strict access control and regular data backups. So this means that your invoices are not only secure but also recoverable in case of unexpected events like data loss or hardware failure. And another thing is that you can also comply with the archiving, right? Because I think one of the mandate of the Malaysia is you have to keep your invoices for 7 years. So those past 7 years transaction, so you can also make leverage on the cloud storage that we have once you use the platform.
Okay, there's another question for Hayang. Can Assist handle high volumes for invoicings with the larger enterprises?
Yes, of course. Even though we have different plans, we also have enterprise plan. So if there are large volumes of invoices, and if you also want to be access to be customized, then you can always reach out to our sales team for that. So we are always open to have some customization or to receive the large volume of the invoices.
Thank you. We have one more question for Yen. What happens if data is lost?
I don't think that will happen. Again, as I mentioned earlier, right, we take data security very seriously. So we ensure that everything has been backed up. So just in case, let's say, for example, the location where your data is being stored, right, it gets corrupted or I don't know, maybe big one happens, right? We make sure that, every data that is being done in one location, there could be like a secondary or the disaster recovery so that there is always a business continuity for all of our customers. So I don't think that will happen.
Okay.
I think, Radhika, there's also one questions that I'd like to take in. Someone asked about, can Assist support multi-location business? I think he or she is from China. I think to answer that, the answer to that is yes, we can support that. We can support multi-location businesses, especially if your company operates across different branches or even countries. But since in e-invoicing compliance varies by region, the system, I think the one that we showed earlier comprises of the compliance with the Singapore and Malaysian e-invoicing for now. But it doesn't limit us to comply also with the China one. We just have to check what are those requirements being required by China. And since we've already done that with Singapore and Malaysia, then that's also possible that we can work with the China government in order for us to make our platform ready to support e-invoicing in China as well. So to answer that, yes, we can support multi-location businesses.
Okay. We have one more question. What government requirements for e-invoice upload? Can we upload the invoices to government portal ourselves instead?
Yes, that is actually possible for you to go to the My Invoice portal to manually key in all the details. But as I mentioned within the live demo, there are a lot of different categories, code or information that the government requires. So we do provide more convenient UX for you to send the e-invoice more conveniently, because if you're using the government portal, you will actually have to create invoice to send out to your supplier if you are still sending the PDF file, as well as you will have to key in all these details again in the government portal. So we are actually trying to design all the UX for you to have a more convenient way to submit all the invoices to government, as well as we are also having AI solutions so that you don't have to key in all this required information each by each every single time when you're submitting that.
Okay. There is one more question. How often do invoices need to be uploaded to the government portal?
There's actually no restrictions on this, if I'm not wrong. So it will be depends on how you want to upload to the government with your internal process for the invoices submission.
Okay. I think there's one question in the chat. How the TIN cannot be obtained from NRIC number. How will it detect WHD?
Okay, so I'm not sure what WHT refers to, but TIN cannot be created by the NRIC. So TIN is actually issued by the LHDN, the government of the Malaysia. So if you are actually a registered individual residents and citizens or companies or businesses, then this TIN number will be provided by the LHDN, which is the tax authority of the Malaysia.
Okay, so there's one more question in the chat. Is Assist meant only for invoicing, not for full module accounting? So invoice with Assist and then key into our accounting system. Sorry, I missed the early part.
I think I can take that one. Okay, so Assist is actually primarily focused on e-invoicing, targeting SMEs and small medium enterprise, right? But still, but when it comes to like full accounting suite, it's not Assist is not like if an accounting system like QuickBooks and Xero. But again, we are integrated with those accounting, so it's not a problem. But that said, it can likely integrate with accounting systems. So when you upload or when you scan your invoices, and then you have to push the data into your accounting system. So that's where a system does the work for you. So it extracts the data out of your invoice, and whatever information you need based on whatever system you're using, it can actually automatically push those data into the accounting system that you are using. So that way it reduces also the manual data entry.
There's one question from Fong SK. Do you have any offices in Malaysia for day-to-day issues, and will our present invoice format be maintained?
Oh, I think for that, office in Malaysia, we don't have, but we do have our support in Malaysia to support Malaysian businesses as well. So if you're concerned about having the ongoing support, who am I going to like talk to when we implement this and we need, help, we can support you still, and we have a dedicated team that can actually support, especially on the Malaysia customers that we have.
Okay, I think next question is for Hayang. How often do invoices need to be uploaded to government portals?
Oh, that's the question that we just replied earlier.
Okay, this another question from the same other person. What happens if okay. How does Assist handle consolidated invoices and self-invoicing?
We do have functionality on the self-billing invoices. So you just have to upload your invoice as account payable. But as I mentioned during the live demo, our system will be able to classify the invoice automatically as a account payable if your company information does not match with the supplier information. So you can just simply click on send as an e-invoice that I showed earlier during the live demo, and the from and to field will be exactly it will be revert, so you can just review all the details and click on the submit button. The flow is the exactly same as what I showed earlier during the live demo, but you will be submit as the self-billing.
Okay.
Mhm.
Actually, for the previous question, Fong SK's question, so he asked like he has another second question, that will our present invoice format be maintained?
So can you repeat that, Radhika?
Will our present invoice format will be maintained? Their old previous invoice format that has to be maintained. Will that be maintained, or it will be from another format?
Oh, you can use your whatever format that you're currently use, and then you can just simply send it to our system. That our system will extract all the data automatically from your whatever format that you're using right now. And then once you submit to Assist, then you can just click on the send as an e-invoice button to send it over. So what we simply do is that we will extract the data from whatever format you're using right now. So you don't have to change any process or formats that you're currently using for.
Okay. Somebody's asking, what is EIF number? What is EIF number?
So EIF is also information that will be provided by the Malaysia. So if you do not have any EIF, it's you can refer to BRN. I think this will be more similar to yours. So you have to update the BRN, the business registration number of your business.
Okay. What are the charges involved? Somebody's asking. What kind of charges? Sorry, Fong SK, can you explain it further?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
What are the charges involved?
Oh, the charges. Okay. Well, in terms of the pricing, well, I think we have the cheapest one. So you can also check in our website, but our plan starts at $8 and $16 for a standard and premium plans. Yes, but we do also have enterprise plan. It just in case you need customization work, so we can also support that. But yeah, $8, $16 is the most common one.
Okay. Somebody's asking if any ground training is required.
I think can be done if that is a requirement. But again, because I think I have mentioned that, all you just have to do is just sign up because the platform is very easy to use. I don't think like a training one would be a necessity. But if there's a need to train your people, they'll be happy to do that and support that as well.
So we have, do you send invoice scan to accounting system too?
You mean invoice, the scan invoice to accounting? What we are sending to accounting is the data being extracted into the invoice. So once you scan it, right, you need to extract the invoice number, the supplier's name, the items that is being the description, the quantity, and all. So those information are the ones being pushed into the accounting system. And the invoice itself, it retains within the Assist platform. So in case you need to do data archiving, you need to keep those invoices in, then you can also make use of the Assist platform to keep those invoices within your reach.
Okay. Do you have any other questions? Please, we are waiting in the Q&A section.
Yeah.
Okay, we have one more. How much work is required to use XYZ accounting system with Assist?
How much work is actually, I don't know if you're gonna believe it, but when you try to use Assist and you're using any accounting system, it has a capability to extract report, right? So you just have to identify what information you need, based on your current invoice. So from that, it can generate the CSV file, and then from that CSV file, you can upload that into your accounting system. So that's easy how it can be to integrate.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I think maybe because of the time constraints, maybe we cannot answer every questions, but we are so happy that we've got a lot of questions, meaning our audience are actually really interested to try it out. I've actually posted I don't know if it's reflecting in your chat box. I posted the QR code where you can scan it and then you can try it out. So that's all you have to do is sign up, and then all the features that we have talked about, all the capability that Hayong also showed during the live demo, you can have those features for free without any time limit. But if you do need help, please feel free to reach out to any one of us, and we'll be happy to assist you, especially with your e-invoicing compliance journey. Yeah.
Okay, that concludes our today's webinar. Remember, everyone who has stayed until now will receive a lifetime free trial up to 30 pages included to our experience or e-invoicing software. Expect a follow-up email with all the details. Thank you for joining us. Big thank you to our speakers, Ariane and Hayang. Have a wonderful day, and we look forward to see you in our future sessions. Thank you so much.